This is an actual live call with a real commercial cleaning business owner where you get to listen in, see their challenges, and get the real solutions that I share that will help you win more contracts and get your time back. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I'm a 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO, started from scratch, hit 7 figures in less than 5 years without working full time. And in fact, our operation runs on less than 5 hours per week. There is a way to do it, but ultimately my life is in the hand of Jesus Christ, so I give him the glory and am thankful to him. And so now I do this to help you get on the same 7-figure, 5-hour per week path that I did with your commercial cleaning business. If you also want to hop on a free call or get free resources, or you want my help and the 7-figure systems and blueprint, click the link in the description or the pinned comment. All right, here's the call.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's go ahead and take it away. So, my name is Christian. I own a commercial cleaning and facilities maintenance company called Cosmic Clean Services, located in the Puget Sound area. I'm currently doing about 175,000 in revenue, and I'm looking to grow that number to about 200,000 net profit a year. Currently, about a 46% margin across my
Okay.
business. And right now, my main thing is I'm looking to create like a repeatable system to go ahead and drive business, whether it's cold walkthroughs or even just organically, or whether
Sure.
that's investing into marketing. I'm ready for that next step. Right now, a lot of my business has been driven through relationships, word of mouth, that sort of thing. Right now I have the tools ready. I have brochures made, a
Okay.
website, company branded attire, business cards. And right now my operations are going well with all of my clients. Some of them have
Okay.
committed to the next year of the contract. Uh, yeah,
Good.
so I think I have a good system in place for the operational side of things, but right now it's taking that next step to, start generating
Sure.
some business on a very repeatable way.
Sure. Okay. And just a little bit of background for me then. How long have you been doing your business?
Yeah, so I started this business in April of last year, and it was a part-time thing for me.
Okay.
I
Okay,
was
cool.
in this industry, and I wanted to just kind of dive into it, give it a shot. And about October of last year is when I decided to take it on full time. And at that point, I
Okay.
had 2 accounts roughly. And from that
Okay.
point forward, I, head down, put in the work in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the word of mouth that you're talking about that got you to where you're at now,
Mhm.
is that family, friends,
Yeah.
church?
So,
Is it that kind of stuff, or is it from your existing your original 2 clients?
yeah, a mix of the both. So my first two
Okay.
clients was through like family connections. The first church I received was one of the church members like said, "Hey, we're looking for looking to make some changes. We want to switch to a vendor." And I told them that I was looking at
Okay.
starting a business. So from there, we just worked together through a contract, and it was my first time diving into everything. So. That was my
Sure.
first one. The next one was word of mouth through that person. And from there, just some like pre-existing people that I knew that I
Okay.
built through. So
Okay.
everything's just been through word of mouth or networking through my
What
existing
have,
portfolio.
what have you tried as far as formal marketing goes? Like you said, you printed some brochures, you got a website. Have you
Yeah.
tried anything yet?
Yeah, so I remember my first attempt at doing this. I just went through I use some of your resources. So I have
Mhm.
Instantly currently,
Okay.
and I do use Outscraper. So what
Okay.
I did to my first start was just I went through Outscraper, scraped a bunch of businesses in the area that I was interested in following my
Hmm.
ICP, and just called like a bunch of people for about a week, and just it was just rejection, rejection, rejection. I was like, okay, this clearly isn't worth my time right now.
Sure.
Maybe that could be something I could improve on. But then I started using Instantly, so cold emails going out with templates, and I've been doing that,
Hmm.
but I haven't had much luck with it.
Hmm.
So yeah, those have been my main points of trying to grow the
Okay.
business outside of just, the standard networking that I've been doing.
Okay. So I got a couple of layers to what we're going to do then. First, I want to dive in a little bit on what you tried.
Yeah.
With the emails you've done, do you know how many contacts you've emailed?
Ooh, that's a great question. I have to pull up the data, but I think I'm aiming for about every campaign is about 300, 500, something like that. It's a lot.
Contacts? Okay.
Yes.
So would you
I
say
have
you've
five
emailed a
clients.
thousand people or you've
Oh,
emailed 1,500 people?
easily. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, And are they getting emailed multiple times, or is it like a one email kind of thing?
I believe my campaign's set up to do two follow-ups.
Two follow-ups. Okay.
So yeah, so the initial, so yeah, three total outreaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you saying on that initial email?
Um, just a friendly outreach. I mean, I can pull up my templates here, but
Sure.
yeah, just reaching out saying like, hey, I am a local janitorial company. I just wanted to know if you needed some help with like facilities maintenance or janitorial, and just leave it at
Okay.
that. And then after that, say, hey, like, I just wanted to reach out again. Friendly outreach.
Okay.
And then my last one is sort of like a, hey, don't mean to be a bother. Just wanted to
Right.
do one last check-in. And then after that,
Okay.
I believe if anyone does reach out, which people have reached out, and whether they say they're not interested, I'll put them into my CRM and basically
Mhm.
just put them in for an outreach again in like 6 months, whether they
Okay.
join it or not.
And when you did your phone calls, and I'll get to the source as well. When you did your phone calls, what were you saying?
Yeah, so my for my phone calls, mostly I would reach out to like a receptionist or some sort of gatekeeper. So I kind of just started off by saying like, hey, I could you please help me with something, can I build their trust that way? And then from there I would ask to speak to someone who can, help with like the janitorial side of things. Like, do you have a facilities maintenance
Mhm.
manager or something like that? Just basically trying to get to the next person. And
Sure.
sometimes I would, and then they would say, "Oh, we're happy with what we have, or we're doing it
Mhm.
in-house, or this or that." So yeah, not a lot of traction. A lot of time I would
Sure.
get shut down right away.
Do you know how many of those decision makers you talked to?
I think I got lucky like maybe a handful of times. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. It wasn't one of those like full send kind of things that you did. Okay. You just were like tinkering with it.
yeah,
Um, okay. So first, when it comes to, if you don't mind, I'll dive in a little bit here for you, and we can build up from some foundational stuff. Um, when it comes to any sort of machine marketing, like I think that's what you were talking about in your questions, right? How can I have a system that just does this?
yes,
It's a volume game. A
okay,
lot of it does come down to your offer, right? Like, how do you appeal to the end result that they really want? But it really is um, for example, with cold calls, we say you got to at least make 100 calls before you can expect an appointment. And that might mean to actually get a win, you got to make 200 to 300 phone calls. Now that also includes voicemails, not get through the gatekeeper, things like that. Usually about 20 conversations, say on the phone, for example, with a decision maker leads to some sort
mm,
of appointment or some sort of forward engagement. So it is a volume game. Now, there's ways to get it to happen faster than that. And this is where I'm curious about what style you're going to want to take. So I'll share this with you. What we prefer to do is mix marketing methods because if you talk to somebody if you get an email from them, you're like, ah, it's internet spam. If you get a phone call from them, you're probably like, oh, okay, like I got your email. They're probably not spam, but they're marketing to me. If they drop something off or I get something else from them in the mail or or they bring me food or something, it's like, okay, they're legit, right? So what I would encourage you to do is in the janitorial industry, you got to have a lot of volume in order to get a significant amount of response from touchless, we'll just say like personless interactions. And
yeah,
a lot of times with those more scalable interactions, like cold email and with cold calling, it's more price oriented motivations of, oh, well, maybe we can save some money here, save some money there. Now, if you have a way of working around that, which there are things you can do, then that can work, but you're going to have to go through a lot of volume. We prefer to mix in some sort of an element that's harder to scale. We're going to send them something. We're going to drop something off. We're going to leave them a note. We're going to write them a letter. We're going to add something to the tail end of whatever that the machine is doing. That way, we get on their radar better. And the real game is this, Christian. It is, think of it like a farm. You're just planting a ton of seeds and you're going to start seeing some things bud. So, for example, you had some people get back with you and say, hey, yeah, we're happy. That's
mhm,
great. What we do is we always say, It's fantastic. That's great. Wonderful for you. So glad that you love your cleaning service. And what's funny is whenever we lean in like that, a lot of times we'll be like, well, like we don't love them. Like, well, okay, well, I mean, I'm not here to take anyone's job and doing a great job, but like, if in your dream company, what would you want? And you can, depending on the personal relationship and how that rapport is, they can actually tell you kind of what they would be looking for. And then what you can do is you're essentially setting yourself up to be next. That should be the entire goal of your marketing system. Because if you're just looking for low-hanging fruit that's ready to buy right now, they're in deal shopping mode a lot of times. They probably already got bidders. You're walking in the door and you're already competing on price a lot of times, which you can work yourself out of that. It takes some skill in sales though, and some brand positioning. But if you essentially treat your lead generation machine as a seed planting machine, and then you nurture those relationships over time, and your close from those is essentially, when's the next time that you all are going to be looking for services? Mind if I check in every 3 months just to see how things are going? And if you want to start an email newsletter you send out once every month, right? You could highlight a specific client you have and how you solved a problem for them. And you just send out something that's valuable to them. It's going to nurture all those leads. So you shouldn't try, I'm not saying this is what you were doing, but it's easy for us to want to get that cherry immediately, right? We want that fruit to bud so fast, but the real win comes in with the nurture. And that's what we saw. Like, I don't know if you've seen on the channel, the episode with how my business scaled. It took me 6 months to get to 10,000 a month. But then in the next 6 months, in the first year, right, we went up to 47,000 a month, essentially. So, and it's
Yeah.
because of all that nurture, all the seeds that were planted in months 1 through 6 started to come to fruition in months 6 through 12. So you want to think about that as your game with the machine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I have a few questions
Sure.
with kind of how to plant those seeds. You mentioned you want to target it from all areas. So when you were in your first 6 months, when you were starting out, how did you and what angles, I guess, did you reach out to them? Was it cold calling? Was it cold visits, emailing? Was
Sure.
it all of them
I prefer in person.
in person?
Um, and that, especially when starting out, and this gets to what you've got going on right now with your
Yeah.
existing clients. I would advise that you get letters of recommendation from your existing clients. Have them write you something that's like, hey, we love working with Cosmic Clean. We were dealing with this before. After working with Christian and his team, now things are this way. And however, whatever you want them to say, just give them a quick template and again, get letters of recommendation. And what you want to do is use those as marketing material whenever you're out there in person. You can have those with your quotes, your proposals, and your packets. And you can also use it in your cold email content to say, hey, we just helped so and so who's just right down the road from you. Right? It's much more of it's less of a mass email type approach, but much more of a targeted, like, we're already next to you. We'd love to help you out. We help so and so. Right?
Do you ever
Um,
lead with those, or is it more of a tool once you are submitting a proposal or you already kind of built that relationship? Because I actually do have a few. I just didn't know, like, I've used them only when I'm like ready to send a proposal as kind of like
sure.
hey, there's this as well. So how do you utilize it outside of that?
I would not use them. We use them on the sales side, like the full, right? The full letters, like, hey, here's a stack of recommendation letters. But if you're going to be using them in marketing, you just want to summarize them and list the
Okay,
name, right?
gotcha.
Like if you want to call them, right? Like go check them out. Like we're here to help you just like we help them. Um, for the for the actual outbound, like I prefer, I like to do more of a pharmaceutical rep style, and I like to do what's called neighbor marketing, which is we're already in the area, we're cleaning for so and so right over here. We'd like to work a deal with you too. We'd be glad to get on the radar for you guys. However, you want to lean into that. Who do I need to talk to since we're already over here? And as soon as you have a local reference like that, people are going
Yeah.
to perk up, and then the trust level is going to be so much higher.
That's my I think I watched a video that you sent me, and that was a big thing that I do want to lean into. Because all
Hmm.
of my business is like very spread out, I would say. So there's a few different neighborhoods I could do that with. My thing that I have not even really attempted at this point is the boots on the ground, visiting in person. I'm someone who likes
Mhm.
to be 100% prepared for anything I do. And for me, it was like, oh, I need a brochure. Oh, I need a website. Oh, I need my business card. So right now I feel like I have those things. I really wanted to, hop on this call to kind of figure out what is the best process for
Sure.
doing those in-person visits.
Okay. So for the in-person visit, think of it just like the mass email, right? Or cold calls. It's a seed that you're planting. And
Yeah.
it's you want to offer yourself as an option in their toolbox or their tool belt, right? Options are power. So
Yeah.
if they ever have an issue or they have any sort of need that they just want some extra help with and they don't want to ask it from someone that they've been working with, then they can absolutely do that. So that's the approach that I would take. I would stick with the brochures and that personal drive being at like associations, right? So Chamber of Commerce, Medical Managers Association, BOMA, which is Building Owners and Managers Association, any sort of that carries its own credibility and trust. So I would definitely use those there.
Yeah.
Um, and then you're doing the neighbor marketing, you're tying to relevance. And then I'm a big believer in the email part.
Okay.
Continue to uncover opportunities through email and follow up with them via phone and then drop a brochure off to those. Give them those three touches because people over email, it's a lot harder to get trust over email. That's why it takes so many emails. It could take hundreds and hundreds, as you've seen, emails to get any responses. But you can also follow back up with them a few months later too, which actually increases trust because they're like, okay, this wasn't a fly by night mass email thing. Like this person's actually in the area. And you can change your copy and stuff and reference like, hey, I reached out a few months ago. We'd really love we're already over here. We'd love to work with you or get you some free information and try to get on the phone with them and then drop a brochure off to them. So that's my thought, at least how I would approach it. From what I've learned about you is just be in the right associations. Um, do the neighbor marketing around what you already have using the credibility of your existing clients. And then your machine can be based on that mass email that's going out. And you're just creating follow up opportunities for yourself, building that big nurture bank that you continue to nurture. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I love that. Great. Yeah, I was about ready to give up on emailing, but I appreciate the insight that I like that analogy of a farm.
It and something to keep in mind with the emailing is it is technical to
Mhm.
land inside of an inbox. Like you got to have SPF records, you got to have the DKIM set up, and there's a DMARC record as well. There's different things that factor into landing into inboxes. So that's the
Okay.
one thing that I would be sure. I know Instantly has some pretty good guides on it internally,
Yeah.
and honestly, these days you can use like ChatGPT or Claude or something. Just be like, hey, am I landing in inboxes? What
Mm.
records do I need to put where in my DNS settings?
Yeah,
So
plot of the
follow healthy delivery protocols, and you might I don't know I haven't analyzed your like system, but you will probably find some opportunities to actually make sure that if you send 1,000 emails next time, you get more responses.
Very good. Awesome.
Yeah, Christian, it's been great to meet you. I wish we had more time,
Me
uh,
too.
but yeah, absolutely. And but reach out over email. Let me know how it goes. And if you do have any questions with implementing this moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for inviting
Yep.
me. It was a pleasure. So, you have a good one.
Yep. You too, Christian. Great to meet you.
Bye.
If you heard yourself in this call, you run a commercial cleaning business, and you want to get on the path to 7 figures in 5-hour weeks, click the link in the description or the pinned comment. That's where you can get started with free resources, hop on a free call with me, and even get my help and the commercial cleaning 7-figure systems and blueprint. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Matt. I'm your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO, and I hope that you learned something that helps you with your commercial cleaning business. Click the link or continue watching this next video, and I hope to meet you soon and to help you get on the path to a 7-figure commercial cleaning business and 5-hour weeks. Stay blessed.